Hello and welcome to Sass Bites. This is your weekly bite of Sass during your lunch break. I'm your host, Micah Godbolt. You can follow me down there at Micah Godbolt. Follow Sass Bites at Sass Bites. Catch up on old episodes at youtube.com/sassbites, and that's all the places you can find us. Today we're diving into a new series. If you've been following for a bit, you might remember this from last year. This is our Road to SassConf. This year, SassConf is going to be in Austin, Texas, from November 11th to 14th. Cost us $500 for the conference. The workshops are going to be additional, and they're going to be posting the prices of those really soon. But what we're going to be doing for the next few months is going through and talking with hopefully all of the speakers that are going to be at this conference. Get a chance to bring them onto this small stage, get you a chance to meet them, learn a little about them, learn a little bit about the talk that they're going to be giving. They're going to be pitching for your vote to come to their talk during their time slot. So today we're excited to invite two guests onto the stage. Real quick, before that, I want to give a little bit of news as well. If you're in the conference mood for this fall, you can also hit up CSS DevConf, which is going to be October 26th through 28th, so a couple weeks before SassConf. The cost for that is $745, though you can get it for a little bit cheaper if you get in groups of 4. And also, I'll be there speaking and doing a workshop on visual regression testing. So if you're interested in using visual regression tools like Wraith, Phantom CSS, maybe Gemini, we're going to be going over lots of those tools in a full-day workshop, and you can sign up and purchase a ticket for that workshop on the CSS DevConf website as well. So again, that's October 26th to 28th. Love to see you there as well. But moving on to our guests, we have with us Lou, who is a senior presentation code developer. It's a new title, I kind of like it, from RGA Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires? Buenos Aires. I'll butcher it 5 more times. She's from Argentina. Where she's building responsive websites on large-scale projects. She's had a chance to speak at JSConf in Uruguay as well as CSSConf in Brazil. Apparently she's only been to, I believe, New York once. So this will be her second time in the U.S., her first time speaking in the U.S., and we're excited to have Lou on the stage. Hey, Lou, how's it going?
Hey, Micah, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And then next to her, at least in a little video chat down there, but very far away from her, we've got Rachel, and I didn't ask, is it Ober? I assume it's Ober, right? Or am I mispronouncing it?
It is
okay.
Ober. It's not fancy. Very easy.
Uber? No, that might be a little weird. She is a Ruby on Rails developer based in New York City, a senior developer at Paperless Post. She's also a co-founder of the Write Speak Code. I hope you don't talk a bit about that because I'm not sure what that is. And Railsbridge in New York City. So really excited to have her on as well. Again, you can follow Lou at Lourdes Montano, Montana, on Twitter, as well as Rachel Ober. That's Rachel, Ober, for those that are horrible at spelling like myself. So appreciate you both coming on, and welcome to the show. How's it going, Rachel? Nope. And she is in a hallway inside of her office. So hopefully we'll get good connections with her. And I think her picture's frozen at the moment. Okay, so Lou, that's why we're going to have Lou first. And hopefully her video will catch up here in a little bit. She unfortunately scheduled a room and was not able to get into it. So Lou, first question I have for you, coming from Argentina, that's really awesome. I think this is the first, at least first South American person we've had on the show. I think we've had some Europeans on the show before. How do you get into Sass down there? What's the community like down in Argentina?
Okay, I got into Sass about 3 years ago. Previously I was a CSS addict and didn't want to use anything other than that. And then so one day a coworker told me about Less, and I was like, yeah, I can use it. I started to use it just for a little bit on my first project here at RGA. Besides that, the presentation code developer, yeah, it sounds really good as a job title. It's all related to the CSS and HTML markup and a little bit of JavaScript, which is what I do every day. And then I've been using Less for about 6 months, but I was like, okay, here's the only thing I can do is nesting. I know I can do a lot more, but I wasn't really into it. And then one day I started working on another project, and I had to use Sass because the other guys were already using it. And it was like, oh, this is really good. I really like it, and I started to read a lot about that. And the first thing that caught my attention was the organization of files, which was really good because these were a really large project with a lot of folders, a lot of sections, and it has to have a strong architecture. So it was really good because I could use the import directive with that, and it helped me to organize the code and files a lot. And then I started to, at first, of course, I was really amazed with the nesting functionality. And I started to nest all the stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, this is Sass. You can nest everything. And then took a look at the compiled code and say, oh God, no, this is not right. This is not right at all. And then started to use some functions. And when I started to work with mixins, it was great. And also by that time, I wanted to start to work with JavaScript, but it was a kind of hard for me. And I have to say that Sass helped me a lot because I was more in touch with functions and some logic and loops and all that, and it was really good to start with that. It helped me a lot, and now I cannot imagine myself not using a preprocessor like Sass.
Exactly. It was funny, actually. I just saw a tweet today. I don't recall where it was. I think it was someone commenting on someone else's tweet about that. Even said Sass was like a horrible programming language. I'm like, sure, like it might not be JavaScript programming language. It's not object oriented. There's limitations to it, but kind of just as you said, the things that you learning the Sass language, the functions and mixins and variables and conditionals, like all that stuff is exactly what you use when you get into some of these other languages. So it's really kind of neat to hear how learning Sass and learning kind of the syntax and some of those functions behind it helped you get into JavaScript even more. So that's really cool. So beyond what you do in your day job, are there other things that you're interested in and other things that you do?
Other than job, well, I am really a sporty girl. I do a lot of sport climbing. Whenever I train on an indoor wall doing some sport climbing, and whenever I have time, I go to the mountains to climb. Luckily, I didn't have the opportunity to do it, but also I love go surfing. That's something that I discovered about 2 years ago, and I really loved. It's fun because I never went to the sea, and the first time I went surfing. Other than that, I attend to a lot of front-end meetups and small groups and some hackathons, and I try to help and contribute with that because I really enjoy it. Sometimes at work, you just are really focused on a project, and outside work, I want to do some more experimental things like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always good to get a chance to try new things and get into projects that aren't your main project that you're working on. So you're going to be talking at SassConf about creating your style guide with Sass maps, which I've kind of done something like this before. So I'm really curious to hear what your approach is. What inspired you to give this talk, and can you give people a little taste of what you're going to be talking about?
As I said before, I was using Sass for about 3 years, and at the beginning of the year, I learned about the maps. I read a really useful article from Una Kravets, and I was like, oh wow, I really want to use that, but I don't know how to implement it. And then I started to work on a really hard project here at RGA, which has a lot of changes. It was a huge site for the Lincoln Center of New York, and the designers, the client, the development team, and the design work was changing all the time. Not only small fixes, but hey, okay, change all the colors, change all the fonts. And I came up with the idea, especially for this article. And well, I am also a really big fan of the Sass News newsletter, which I read every Wednesday. And I wanted to use maps for a long time, but I didn't find a really good use case for that. And I said, okay, I'm going to use this in order to make all the thinking more of components and say, okay, I'm going to use this for titles, for all the things that I knew that were going to be changing, and it happened for a lot of months, especially in this project. So I made some components for the typographies, or for some grids, for colors and all that, and then I could create my dynamic classes. But coming back to your question, yeah, what really inspired me, it was a really stressful project, which helped me a lot because it was really good because I could do some in-browser prototyping and the client was really satisfied with that.
That's awesome. So you learned something from Una, which of course is a great friend of all of us, and you learned it through the Sass. Did you hear that article through the Sass newsletter that you said?
Yes.
Big shout out to Stu for putting that together. He's been going on with that for a number of years now. So exciting to hear that stuff that came out of that was a big influence for you. So we really need to see that talk and to see how implementing this with Sass Maps has really helped out with a large project of this scale. That's really the fun thing with Sass, is seeing how much it can impact these projects, especially these large projects that really start growing on us. So awesome! Looking forward to that, and I appreciate the rundown. I bet people are going to be hopefully they'll be clamoring to your talk. So,
okay, sounds good.
Okay, Rachel, let's jump over to you real quick. I've got a similar set of questions for you, and your video's been moving smoothly for the last few minutes, so I think we're going to catch you at a good time.
I think I'm good for the next 15 minutes until I get kicked out of this room.
Perfect. So the 15 minutes is what we'll give you for the rest of this. So same question to you. What's your story? How do you get into Sass? What was that process like?
Oh, that's maybe a long involved question, but mainly I was brought in as a full stack Ruby on Rails developer, and I think somebody made that choice for me. Sass was added to the code base, and I took a liking to the front-end development for the projects we were working on, and that's how I picked up Sass and how I got into my full career now, working with Sass every day. I would say it just kind of like the choice happened, and I liked it. It seemed to be a lot more organized than plain CSS, and I was happy to use it.
Very cool. So yeah, I know with Sass kind of starting, originating in that Ruby world, it kind of got tacked on to just about every Ruby project that ever got started. So
yeah, it's kind of like people decided they didn't like CSS, and if there was a Ruby way to do it, they chose to do it.
Exactly. And even if it was just for variables or occasional mixin or something like that, but then you find yourself going, ooh, hey, now I can do this, and now I can do that. So what is it that you do at Paperless Post? Are you mostly front-end development then? I'm looking senior developer, so it really doesn't say too much about what you do.
So I'm a senior developer of front-end, I guess is my official title. I've been spending a lot of time the past year putting together our front-end team. We went from, I started with one other person, she left after a few months, then it was me for a while, then another person came, and we finally hired 4 more predominantly front-end people in the last year. So we've divided up our talents across quite a few of our feature teams, and so I've been spending a lot of time working on making sure that our front-end methodology is being communicated across all of our developers, trying to make sure that our site style is consistent as best as we can with a constant rotating list of priorities, and that's mainly how I kind of started working on this whole idea of our pattern guide and what led to the workshop.
Awesome. So you've moved from a predominantly development area to like full dive into front end, which is great.
Yes. I'm like too much stuff interests me, I would say. So right now I'm sitting in the front end world, and we'll see where life takes me in the next few months.
Yeah, that's one thing I found when speaking to a bunch of developers a couple series ago. Is it's really neat for front end. There's people coming from so many different areas. There's back end developers that have moved into front end. There's like traditional programmers coming in. There's artists and designers, and it's really neat to get such a great cross section because everyone brings in kind of their own expertise and background. So it sounds like you do a bunch of stuff outside of work as well. So can you tell me a little about some of the projects that you work on?
Sure. In 2013, me, along with a few other women, started the group Write, Speak, Code, which started off as a conference, and what we wanted to do was create the type of conference that we really yearned for. And so what we do is exactly the title, is we look to write open op-ed pieces, blog posts, and how to get our voices out there as women. So it's strictly a women-focused group. The Speak Day is then about creating proposals to speak at conferences. And then our third day is about coding open source software, and what does that mean, and how can we contribute back to the community. So we've since broken up into more areas. We do day workshops over weekends, and we'll also do meetups in 3 cities right now in the United States: San Francisco, Chicago, and New York City, which focus on bringing the community together and really help women on their next area of their career. And we think writing, speaking, and coding are those things.
Awesome. So if people are interested in getting involved with that or attending something, what's the best way to find out more information?
I would check out our website, which is writespeakcode.com. We are also on Meetup and Twitter, so if you just do a search, you'll find us.
Oh, awesome. So it's a good namespace to grab. It's a good way to put what you do into the name of your organization.
Yes.
Awesome. So can you talk to us a little bit about what inspired you to give this workshop? Now, how long is this workshop? Is it a couple hours or a full day, or what is it?
Right now, it's going to be 3 hours,
okay.
It's pretty significant. I also have experience teaching at General Assembly in New York City, and we did 3 hours, and that's like pretty much the time you want to spend before students' heads explode and they need a break. So I think 3 hours is a good time, and I'm going to be trying to pack as much into it with lectures as well as some examples, and I really hope that people will be able to walk away with a finished product, or at least something to walk away with that will highlight all of the things that I want to talk about. Whenever I was at the first SassConf, I was actually on a panel about style guides and pattern guides, and at that point I had just started a paperless post for about 5 months, and I had inherited a previous style guide from Pam Selly. And I was really interested. Like at the time, I was the only front-end developer after she had left, and we wanted to be able to have this front end that really could be used in different places. Now, the Paperless Post website started as a Rails project, and it's very massive, and that's like a common problem with Rails apps that have been around for 5 or more years, is that they've just become massive. It's hard to figure out where all the moving pieces are and where everything is. And what I wanted to set up this pattern guide to do was that it would be a separate project, and then either be included as a CSS file or Ruby gem or an NPM package, and just be able to be moved wherever it was needed, and then people would have access to our fonts, access to our buttons and color scheme, and it would just be really, really stupid simple to drop it in. And because I feel like eventually we're going to be breaking down this mega Rails app into different things, and whether or not it's Rails shouldn't matter. We just need these styles available across the site.
Exactly. Yeah, I was actually just about to ask what the portable part of the portable pattern guide was, but you answered that before I could even ask. So perfect.
Oh, good. I did see that. The title might change, but the idea behind the workshop is that a lot of the things that we talk about whenever I'm doing research for how to add things to the pattern guide is it's very focused on individual smaller websites, I think. And one of the challenges that I have at Paperless is that we are quite a large web application with many moving parts, and how do we translate that into reusable modules? And I think that's something that hasn't been answered anywhere. So I have a couple ideas. I don't think I have the full answer, but how can we explore it and come up with a better answer?
Yeah, I think that's kind of, it's neat to see the web, and especially a lot of the front end, kind of everyone's moving, trying to solve the same problems at the same time. talk to you and like, hey, we're actually solving the same problems right now, and trying to figure out how to make those things work and how to make these style guides with these small pieces. So it's great to hear that lots of people are trying to tackle this problem, and certainly looking forward to hearing what you have to contribute to that space. So appreciate your time. I want to make sure you don't get kicked out in the middle of this. So any last closing bits? Lou, appreciate you coming on. It's going to be exciting to have you come out to the States again. Anything you want to close with? Anything, tidbit of information or other ways people can find you?
No, the other way you can find me on GitHub with the same handle as my Twitter account. Other than that, I just use that. Well, I have my Facebook, but it's personal. No, I'm really excited to go to the States and speak there. I love sharing some contents here at the big community of front-end we have here in Buenos Aires, which is getting bigger and bigger every day. Here, all in Latin America, they are really good developers, and it's great that I can go there and mingle with you guys. It's going to be awesome. I hope to give a good lightning talk and have a great time.
Awesome. Thanks, Lou. Appreciate it. And Rachel, any last closing bits you want to give?
You know, I'm hoping people come to my workshop and they're interested in solving the same problems that I'm interested in solving. Bring your ideas, and please, if you have any specific questions, please tweet me at Rachel Ober. It's really easy. And I'd love to hear people's questions, because I'm sure you are not the only one with those questions.
That is definitely how it goes. Twitter is a great place to toss those questions out too. There's usually somebody trying to solve the same thing as you. So thanks everyone for coming on, and for all the viewers that are watching live. Appreciate that. If you're watching this after the fact, then hope you enjoy that too. So again, SassConf is going to be November 11th through 14th in Austin, Texas. You can pick up your tickets now for $500. Catch us next week as we talk with more of the speakers from SassConf. So thanks everyone. Thanks Lou, and thanks Rachel. It's been great to have you both on, and look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.